The story of Jed Clampett began in the rolling hills, where he was a humble mountaineer, barely scraping together enough to keep his kin fed. His life was defined by the rugged demands of the wilderness and the simple rhythms of nature. Then, on an ordinary day while he was out hunting for supper, his rifle struck something unexpected in the rocky earth. A thick, dark, bubbling substance erupted from the ground, coating everything in sight. It was oil, commonly known as black gold or Texas tea. Almost overnight, Jed's life transformed completely. He went from a struggling woodsman to a man of immense wealth, a millionaire in every sense of the word. His family, eager for a new chapter, encouraged him to leave their mountain home behind. They suggested that California was the place to be, promising a life of luxury and endless sunshine. They gathered their belongings, packed the truck with everything they owned, and set off on a long journey to Beverly Hills. Upon their arrival, they were greeted by a world of swimming pools and famous movie stars, a stark contrast to their quiet mountain existence. The Beverly Hillbillies had arrived, and their presence would soon turn the city upside down. As they settled into their new life, the familiar sounds of their home began to mingle with the strange sights of the mansion. Inside the grand living room, the atmosphere was lively. Granny, as sharp-tongued as ever, called out for Ellie Mae. She was feeling agitated by the presence of a rather large bird that had somehow found its way into their house. Ellie Mae, ever the animal lover, tried to defend the creature, which she had named Daisy. Granny, however, was having none of it, refusing to have a scavenger roaming about her kitchen. Jethro, always loyal and eager to please, stood by, caught in the middle of their playful bickering. Just then, their banker, Mr. Drysdale, arrived with Miss Hathaway in tow. Mr. Drysdale looked as if he had not slept in days, his face lined with the stress of managing the family fortune. He had come to deliver an announcement of historical importance. Gathered in the drawing room, he informed the family that their balance had reached the unprecedented figure of $80 million. The sheer scale of the wealth seemed to bounce off the family, who were more concerned with the simple hunger of the moment than the zeros on a bank statement. Mr. Drysdale, ever the salesman, insisted on presenting them with a gift, a gesture he claimed was a tradition of his bank. He handed them an imported transistor radio, a device he touted as a magic music maker. The family accepted the gift with typical grace, though they were more interested in the well-being of the banker himself, who seemed to be unraveling before their eyes. Granny, in her inimitable way, fretted over the poor man's health, fearing that the responsibility of their fortune was going to be the death of him. The conversation eventually turned toward the state of the world, specifically the news that England was having financial trouble. Jethro, having heard rumors that the city of Philadelphia had purchased the Queen of England as a tourist attraction, was deeply concerned. The idea that royalty could be bought and sold shocked the family, and they felt a moral duty to intervene. They decided they had to do something to help. Jed, taking charge, placed a call to England to get the truth firsthand. He reached out to Faversham, the man who managed their castle in Kent. The conversation was filled with misunderstandings and classic humor as Jed tried to navigate the aristocratic language of the British household. They eventually confirmed that while the Queen had sold some of her ships, she remained the sovereign, though the financial struggles were indeed real. The family's resolve hardened. They were determined to use their $80 million to help the Queen, convinced that they could save both the monarch and their hard-working banker at the same time. They returned to the bank, ready to withdraw their massive fortune. Mr. Drysdale, upon hearing that they intended to take their money out, fainted dead away, overcome by the sheer shock of losing his largest depositor. When he came to, the family, still driven by their simple and kind hearts, tried to reassure him that they were not abandoning him, but rather putting the money to a noble cause. They explained their plan to help the Queen, a project that required, in their eyes, nothing more than a little bit of gumption and a willingness to step in when others were in need. As they navigated the complexities of international finance with the help of a supposed Queen's minister, the story took on a life of its own. They ended up, through a series of comedic negotiations, believing they had purchased Canada to help the royal coffers, all while Mr. Drysdale tried to keep his composure. The absurdity of it all, combined with the genuine kindness of the Clampetts, created a tapestry of human connection that spanned continents. In the end, the family remained as they had always been, grounded in their values, ready to help those in need, and always looking at the world with a sense of wonder and warmth. They had come a long way from the hills, but the spirit of the mountaineer, with his simple wisdom and open heart, remained the guiding force in everything they did. It was a journey of laughter, unexpected friendships, and the realization that wealth, at the end of the day, was best used to bring a little bit of sunshine into the lives of others. As they looked toward their next adventure, they knew that as long as they had each other and their good intentions, they would always be right at home, no matter where they were in the world.